Hey everyone, it's Greg, and it's Unbreakable Spirit. We usually start the podcast really cheerful. It's hey, it's Greg, and we give you the date and we talk about everything, and but 99 just unbelievable, unbelievable fact. Talk all about those Eagles and how they suck. Now, actually, we're just going to break down the game and talk about where we go to. Well, you know, I've got my friend Katie here because we need a little cheering up today, and we need a little sunshine on this. We need it. We're in Philadelphia. Goodbye. Uh, what a brutal loss this thing. And wasn't it, Katie? Uh, God, she was watching until she's talking about depressed. She's still depressed. You know, I don't get paid to go on the radio to give my opinions. I'm just a normal fan giving my observations, and that's all it is. Um, I'm claiming to speak for the fans. I just give what I feel, but I feel that a lot of my opinions in sports, Philly sports, are what other people are feeling. Try to keep it real. So that's what we're going to do. All week long, I was going back and forth. And if you watch the show, I follow me on Twitter, I was just going back and forth. And it was Eagles, Seattle, Eagles, Seattle, Eagles. I had this feeling in my little moments that it wasn't good. Now, it's never a good thing when you have a team. Look at the definition of the word team, right? Group of group of people working together. That's a team. On this Eagle squad, you've got players pointing fingers at each other. Players saying, well, I did a great job. I played really great, but the rest of the team sucked. That's not a team. And then you have the backstabbing and the interfighting, where someone like A.J. Brown is saying, I just pouting, I need the ball more. He's not thinking about the team. What if you're scoring 30 points a game? He's not thinking about the team. That's what concerns me most of all, is the Eagles score. Not the fact that they've lost the league and that they are regressing instead of getting better when they should be peaking at this time of the year. It's the fact that they're not a team. They're no way near the squad they were in 2017. Do you remember back then, 6 years ago? Did you hear of any finger pointing, even during the losses, after losses? Did you hear of any backstabbing, like players who were selfish, who said, well, I played well, the rest of the team didn't play well, but I'm happy because I played good. You did hear that. You did hear it from this team. So that's the reason why I was worried last week about this game, where others were saying, well, we're going to have an easy win. How can you say the Eagles were going to have an easy win? I would have been satisfied with just a win. How can you say that? It was right in front of your face. Not only is this team in disarray, the coaches are confused. The coordinators, they're changing it. Even if that switch of defensive coordinators wasn't a panic move, it seems like a panic. It's right in front of your face. This team is in disarray. They're not handling adversity very well. I thought adversity was the time when you're supposed to come together and get stronger, not get weaker, not fall apart. And that's what's happening to the Eagles team. but it was right there in front of our face. It was going to be a tough game, as you know it anyway, because you're going to Seattle. The Eagles haven't beaten Seattle since 2008. How could you think this was going to be an easy game? The players have changed since then. But Pete Carroll's there. It's no wonder the Seahawks are now 21-7 as home underdogs in the last 15 years. Did you forget about that? Did you forget about what a raucous atmosphere it is out there? One of the loudest crowds in the National Football League? Did you forget about the weather playing factor? Did you forget about having to fly way across the country and your team is injured and your team is sick and your team is fractured internally? And if anybody knows about fractures, it's this guy. Right? It was right down in front of our face. Should we be surprised if they lost this game? I picked the Eagles to win 27-24 because I thought with all of this diversity, they would finally win. And they did. So I don't think we should be surprised or shocked that this happened. They, like the old saying goes, they are what they are. And I'm disappointed because this is a team that started out 10-1. And you couldn't expect them to go 16, right? You could expect some adversity, especially during this rough stretch of games. But I never expected the Eagles to fall apart. I never expected them to not stick together. And to me, I agree, it's the players got to play. Maybe the Eagles just aren't good enough. Maybe they don't have the horses this year to go far in the playoffs. They've made playoffs. Even despite the fact that they didn't win last night, they still made the playoffs because other teams, there was a combination of the wins and losses. The Eagles are in the playoffs. Do you really think the Eagles are going to go far in the playoffs with how they look right now? I always like teams that are hot at the end of the year going into the playoffs. Look how many wild card teams get to the World Series, get to the Super Bowl, right? It's because they're playing together and they're playing good baseball, they're playing good football at the right time. Unfortunately, the Eagles are not playing good football when you want them to. Now, maybe they'll win their last 2 games. They've got two against the Giants. That's not a gimme game. We'll talk more about that later in the week. But it's a division game, and the Eagles and the Giants usually play those games. And they have a game against Arizona. Should win those games. But will they? Nothing's a given anymore. And even if they win those games, do you have confidence in this team that they're going to go far? I don't. Now, I don't read from a script. I don't do that. I don't even edit because everybody makes mistakes. And we take keeping in the bad stuff as well as the good, everything, right? Even when Bud is on the floor here, leaving games. I leave it in this year. Because it's real. It's real life. That's what it is. Anything I ever use are stickies, which I love for years. And a few bullet points. So let's talk about a few things before I leave it. What about Jalen Hurts? What's wrong with him? I said to see him before, so he just seems adamant. He seems listless. He seems like he's despondent. He seems like Something's wrong with him. And I don't think it's sickness with illness. I think he's been disoriented. Looks like a deer in the headlights. He looks scared. And I don't know whether he's just despondent over what's happening to this team. Maybe he's not happy with play calling. I don't know. He's not the same player as he was last year. He's missing open receivers downfield. He's not seeing. Granted, last night he ran better than he's run in a while, but he's not the MVP quarterback that we so-called MVP quarterback that we saw last year. Is it the money? I don't know. He made a really strange comment after the game by saying something about not being committed. Now, what does that mean? To me, when someone says not being committed, if that somebody team isn't putting in the work, they're not putting in the full attention to the study, the work. So what's happening behind those things? What's happening in that locker room that he knows and he sees, but we don't see? But we see the results on the field. I'm concerned too because the coach has no answers. Coach seems like a deer in the headlights still. He's grasping for answers. And are we seeing Nick Sirianni puppet? Last week he said he had full confidence in the defensive coordinator. This week he says he was the one who made the decision to bring Matt Patricia down to the field to call the defensive plays and boot Sean Desai up to the booth. So what's going to happen there? Are they going to go back to Desai? That's a vote of confidence, isn't it? I mean, what are we doing? Is the front office making the moves? Is Sirianni the puppet? Like Doug Peterson was at times? So it just seems like a rudderless ship. But does it seem like anyone is the leader? Jalen Hurts isn't being the leader. Nick Sirianni isn't being the leader. So who is the leader on this team? And that's why I had concerns for those people who thought this was going to be an easy win. That's why I had concerns. It was right there in front of your face. Why couldn't you see that? Why couldn't you see what's going on with this team? We talk about disarray, urgency. I don't see any of that. I don't see any urgency. I see a very listless, sluggish team. Once again, they only scored 17 points. You could say with all these weapons, team they should be scoring more points than they are. And I agree with that offensive line and those receivers. Someone's lacking this team. Or either that or we have really, really overvalued this team. Maybe they're just not as good as what we thought they were. They did get off to a 10-1 start though. So what's happened since then? Why is this team falling off the cliff so fast? Why didn't they step up against the 49ers, against the Cowboys? And they needed to step up against really good teams. Why didn't they step up last night in a really important game? It's we talk about how people deal with adversity. To me, speaking for one who has gone through a little bit of adversity in life, you either give up, throw in the towel, or you fight like hell. You said, adversity is not going to win. Sadly, it looks like the Eagles are throwing in the towel. I'll tell you what, something look for this week. Forget about the people. You're going to hear a lot of comments on the radio and TV, in the media, all kinds of opinions and takes. What's wrong with the Eagles? You're going to hear the fans on the radio jumping off the bridges, giving up hope, and saying, "Oh, I knew this was on you." Yeah, it's all belief. Don't listen to those people. Believe what you see in front of you. Right? Right. Thank you. You've got to focus this week on how the Eagles deal with adversity. Are they going to continue to point fingers at each other? Are they going to continue to blame the media for their troubles? Another concern on this note was some of these players just aren't taking responsibility for their own actions. Excuses. Oh, well, this happened. Oh, maybe you're just not good enough. Maybe there's something lacking. Maybe you need to step up and get paid. You're a professional football team and National Football League. And you don't want to be Jalen Hurts as much as I like him, as much as he's done for you. Lately, he just doesn't seem like he wants to be there. Look at him when he's sitting on the bench. Last year, it's like that guy. Still, the least favorite place he wants to be at that sitting for the bench in that league. Where is this guy at? When was it leaving? He seems lost. Maybe that's a good one. Lost. Just like this team is. And the sad thing is, there doesn't seem like there's an answer. There's a lot of people, including the media, who are blaming other people. They're saying they should have done this, should have done this. They should have been involved. They should have played for the team. There's not that many answers. Maybe because nobody has answers. Right? But this is the week starting with enforcement. This is it. Because if the Eagles were a strong team like they were in 2017, then you're going to find out. We're going to find out because this team is going to rally together and they're going to, instead of throwing in the towel, they're going to get stronger. But if you see more finger pointing, if you hear more excuses during the week, if you don't see this team coming together by the next time they play on Christmas, when they play New York, you know this team isn't handling adversity. There's such a thing as character. In very tough times, whether it be in a football game or whether it be in life, character matters. And I just don't see this team having character. Well, we're going to find out this week. how much character he was in. We could talk about different players and could analyze. And we'll talk about that more during the week. What plays should they do, should they? And today we're just talking about general stuff. And we're trying to find some answers as to what is going on. Right? Now, if the Eagles would have stopped the Seahawks on that last drive, we would have been celebrating too. We would have celebrated. We went out west. We did what they had to do. We picked up the victory, and we were back on track. And we're still ahead of the Cowboys in the division, and we still have a shot at the #1 seed. All is well. And it didn't happen. They gave up. The long drive at the end of the game to Drew freaking Lock. Drew Lock led the Seahawks. Long drive from their home field to score a touchdown. And they needed it. But our defense couldn't step up. Our coaches couldn't step up. And we needed to. And then when the Eagles got the ball back, with 30 seconds to go, and made it to midfield, play call and choke. Quarterback changed. Definitely community leaders. Just like the worst believing. It's just beautiful, right? Not that they're not beautiful. Oh, it's just extra beautiful. So, Katie and I will say, have a great day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And she hated it yesterday sucked. I mean, even the Sixers lost their biggest game to the Blues. It was a terrible day in Philadelphia sports, but you know what? It's not life from death. It's sports. Sports is a diversion. Sports is supposed to be fun. I know we take our sports very seriously and passionately here in Philadelphia because it's important to us. And it's not life and death. Life goes on. And people hopefully will come back next week. Get it together. Coaches and players. And still make this season into a positive, more than a negative, right? Because God forbid, if the season ended today, it would definitely be a negative, wouldn't it? But it doesn't today. We've got 3 more games left in the regular season. Now we've got the playoffs. Get in the playoffs and make it. This team needs to. Maybe that they need to get it together internally. Or else, go Phillies. Which won't be too far away. Won't be too far away. So, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. And we'll be back tomorrow on the Unbreakable podcast. Say goodbye, King. It's a sad day, but there is brighter days ahead on the horizon. So, get by this initial period of grief, and later in the week, we'll look forward to Christmas, and we'll look forward to playing those New York Giants. And everything will be okay. You got to have hope. I don't know if you can see my shirt. It says joy, hope, and peace. We need all 3, especially during these days. Especially the hope. Don't give up hope ever. So see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye. 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 Bye.